Good evening, Andy. Thank you for joining us on Lambs Media today. A 0-0 stalemate tonight, the Lambs' first 0-0 of the season. How would you evaluate the game as a whole?
I'd say a really hard 4 point, to be honest. We knew Yeovil would be decent. They've got a really good away record. And like I said, the table don't lie this time of the season. You know, it's taking shape and they're right up there, just outside the playoffs. Had a really good victory. We watched them at Wealdstone, and it was a comfortable 3-0. So we knew it was going to be tough. And so they had a lot of possession. They're a good footballing team. And yeah, ultimately, I think it's a point gained.
As you said, a well-earned point. And after Saturday's match, you mentioned your wish to not concede as many goals, and you did get a clean sheet tonight. Would you say the result was fair for both teams?
Yeah, I would. It wasn't loads dissimilar to Saturday. In fact, they had a lot of possession without creating loads. They had they had a free header, and they had a chance where Jazz made a save. But they had loads of possession without creating a lot. And I feel we did have some chances from set pieces where it's dropped, and we've had a couple of half chances. Another day, one of them you can get on the right side of it and you could win the game. But overall, I don't think either keeper had loads to do, if I'm being honest. So, like I said, it's a point gain. Yeah, they went to 10 men at the end, and at the end the lads are disappointed because they feel like drop points. And I'm like, well, I've been in this situation before where all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're down to 10 men, let's just go and win the game, and you can get caught the other way. We didn't do that. It's a point gained. You know, we're not going to win every game at home. It's important if you don't count. Win it, you don't lose it. And yeah, I'm delighted to get a clean sheet. Jazz made one good save second half, which we need him to do. And yeah, in an ideal world, we'd like to have played better football and created more chances and have more possession. But you know, I keep saying it, but it's a fact. The boys have been to work today, whereas a team like Yeovil will have had Sunday off. They'd have been doing loads of analysis yesterday, looking at our videos, how we play, and worked and trying to exploit them, whereas we've had 10 minutes on the tactics board before the game. You know, that's what we're up against. Yeovil's a massive club. Coop's really good manager, got a great group of players who've had some good results. So we have to be pleased with the point.
Not to talk about injuries too much, but we did see Matt Curley unfortunately pick up an injury. We was just wondering if you have any first glance news on the injury or if it depends on the scan.
He's done something different tonight, so frustrating because he's had a stop start, as everyone knows, and you know he's fit. He's over the other stuff. He's come on tonight and just rolled his ankle. Bit similar to what happened to their guy, if I'm being honest. Their skipper did very, very similar. Rolled their ankle, can't put a lot of weight on it. So I think the next couple of days it's about icing it and letting it settle down and having a look. But obviously that's a massive negative for the club because we know what he brings.
The red card in the game in the latter stages for Morgan Williams of Yeovil, it looked to be that Tamworth are starting to gain a little bit of momentum, especially down the left hand side in my opinion. How would you say that affected your team's flow and just the overall end of the game?
Like I just said previously, I think when teams go down to 10 it changes a lot. And it can be mentality wise, but I think 10 men, especially if they feel it was harsh, which they think they did, I think you just galvanise even more and try and dig something out, which they did. And they were still a threat the way they play. They pass the ball so well. 10 men's not going to make loads of difference to them. I thought they defended set pieces and stuff really well, and I don't think it made a massive difference, to be honest. What it could have done was made us become a bit overconfident and have then gone a little bit too expansive and then got caught out, which we didn't. I didn't want that to happen because, say, I come here tonight thinking if someone said you're going to get a point against Yeovil, that's not the end of the world for me by any stretch.
You're now unbeaten in 4 home games, with our next game at Land being our FA Cup tie. Would you say our home form boosts the confidence of the players and yourself going into this FA Cup tie next week?
Yeah, I think we have to, don't we? I mean, like I said, as I've said a million times already to different formats of press, we're going to have to play really well against Huddersfield, and they're going to have an off day because they're, wherever they are in the league's quite a bit above us. But there will be a shock somewhere in the FA Cup rules, and we've got to do our utmost to make it happen here. And like I said, it's nice to go into that game with the results we've had in the last 4 games. Of course it is. And in most of the games this year we've been unlucky. We lost to Hartlepool. We should never have lost the game. We drew with Sutton. We should have won the game. So I'm realistic that we've competed with virtually everyone here. That's a fact. I think we also lost to Altrincham. Again, we were well in the game. So, in general, we've matched all teams here. And we're going to have to step it up even more to match a team of that calibre. But, yeah, I think why would you not be confident going into a home game?
And just finally, a few words on Southend United this coming weekend. A former League 2 outfit who maybe haven't had quite the start they'd be hoping for. How would you say you're going to approach this game, especially with a training session in between the 2 games?
Again, we've got lots of info on Southend. We should watch them again tomorrow night, as every team watches every team. But again, they've got a lot of good players. They're going to have a massive home backing. It's a massive club, but we'll be acquit ourselves accordingly, and we'll set out a team that's going to hopefully get something out of the game. We know it's going to be tough, 100%. We know it's going to. That's why it's important we make this such a fortress here, which we are doing. But again, if you can't go to Southend with that many people there from where we've come in the last 3 years and try and embrace it, then there's something wrong. So we're going to look forward to going there, but we certainly want to give a good account of ourselves, because we don't want to, turn up and not turn up, if that makes sense, because that's no good to anyone. We know it's going to be tough, but like I said, they're the sort of place you want to be going, whereas some of the places over the previous years are nowhere near to that standard. So we've got to look forward to it, but equally we've got to be really, really prepared and really, really committed to get anything out of it.
Andy, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll speak to you again after Saturday's game.
Cheers, thank you.